Hello, welcome to tape 3 in the Power Squash series. In the first 2 tapes, we covered the basics and the defensive aspects of our game. Today, we're looking at how to attack in squash. The attacking boast, the volley boast, the drop, the volley drop, and the straight and cross-court attacking drives. And here we are in the 1998 World Championships in Qatar with Jonathan Power in the dark shirt playing Peter Nicol. So let's take a look at some of the attacking shots in a game situation. And there's Jonathan applying the pressure with a forehand volley. Nice volley drop there from Jonathan. An attack on the volley on the backhand. And another drop. And the rally ends in a let, but they're both building from this good length that we've talked about in the other 2 tapes. Jonathan on the attack in the mid-court again. Terrific length from these players. An attacking boast from the back of the court. And a deceptive forehand drive there, dying in the corner. Another beautiful forehand drop. And Peter lobbing out of trouble. Attacking drive on the backhand and a backhand drop. And a very deceptive drive across the court, wide of Peter Nicol's racket. And in this rally we can hear the power in that ball as both players taking time away from their opponent, trying to force them to hit a weak shot so they can attack from the mid or the front court. Here they're just vying for position, using tremendous pace on the ball. And there was a kill from Jonathan from the back. Attacking on the volley. Attacking both from the back again on the forehand. And a lovely little drop shot. Another attacking boast, but not many opportunities in this rally. A boast from Peter, an attacking volley from Peter, but there's a forehand volley drop dying in the net. The attacking boast is hit mostly from the mid-court when our opponent's behind us. In this shot, I want to aim the ball into the side wall so that it's going to connect on the front wall near the middle, allowing it to bounce twice before the opposite side wall. In order to do that, it's important to hit the ball later in the stance than we would for a straight drive. If I've got my left foot forward here, here's a late stance position, and if I'm hitting off my right foot, I'm still angling that ball towards a target on the side wall. The lower the ball on the bounce and the lower the follow-through, the tighter the shot is going to be. Your follow-through is naturally going to want to come up at the end of the shot. By keeping the follow-through low, I mean through the hitting zone here and in towards that side wall. In this example, Jonathan is playing the attacking boast from behind his opponent. You can do this, but you must do only sparingly. And there's Ahmed Barada under pressure into the front corner. Let's have a closer look at this attacking boast in the forehand with Jonathan practicing with a ball machine. When he's playing this shot, he's actually hitting the ball on the inside of the ball. Racket's coming back nice and early before the bounce, and he's practicing off his right foot, making sure his shoulders come around on the backswing. We can see that strong wrist position. And he's got a fairly high backswing here because he's got a lot more time. And here he could be playing a straight drive, a cross-court drive, or of course his attacking boast. Racket face open, hitting the ball on the inside, imparting a little cut as he angles it into the side wall. And in this second example, a little bit of pushing in the middle there, we've got a shorter backswing from Jonathan because he doesn't have the same amount of time as he did in practice. But the result is the same. Lots of pressure for his opponent and a winning point. As we come down through the shot, we take the ball a little later in our stance. Remember, a straight drive would be hit here in relation to our leading foot, and this shot is going to be hit just behind or opposite the leading foot. The follow-through may be a short follow-through there, more like a punch action, or it may come up. That depends on your own style. The important part is what's happening through the hitting zone on this shot. The ball must be taken low on the bounce. The follow-through is a low follow-through towards the target. Again, the racket might stay on the target low, it might come up, it might come up another way. That's your own style. Don't get hung up on it. The ball wants to strike the front wall in the middle of the court. We're looking for 2 bounces before the opposite side wall. If it hits the nick on the second bounce, it's deemed to be a perfect attacking boast. And here we are back in the match. Good length. Lovely little volley drop there. And a wonderful attacking boast on the backhand. This really is a very fine rally. Very good serve deep in the corner, good length from Peter Nicol, but a better length from Jonathan, which sets him up with a volley drop opportunity. Peter scrambles to get the ball back, and here's an attack on the volley. Peter still under pressure, and his ball catches the side wall, and there's that attacking boast. Low just above the tin, and Jonathan going with a high follow-through. That's his own particular style. And here's Graham Riding practicing his shot on the backhand, and let's have a look at it in detail. Racket coming back nice and early before the bounce. Lovely balance there, keeping his head very still. And as he's hitting the ball on the inside, angling it towards the target on the side wall. From this position here, we can see the early racket preparation, the wrist is cocked, head still nicely balanced, an open racket face, putting a little cut on the ball as he aims it into the side wall. And we can see that Graham's preference on this swing is to have a lower follow-through. Getting the racket back nice and early helps you with your deception. So from this position, your opponent won't be able to read whether you're hitting a straight drive, a cross court, or the attacking boast. Here we've got Jonathan practicing his shot, and the first thing to look for is how low the ball is on the bounce. It comes up, it's falling low, and there's the connection. Once again, head nice and still, well balanced, early preparation, and a nice follow through to the target on the side wall before he pushes out back towards the tee position. We can also see from this angle that he's connecting with the ball just behind his leading foot. He needs to do this to get the correct angle so it hits the front wall near the middle. The volley boast, like the attack boast, is played for the most part in the mid-court attacking zone. I've played good length, my opponent is digging the ball out of the corner, and I'm coming across here to intercept the ball. Firm grip, racket back early, not too big a swing. The follow-through may finish there with a little punch, it may come up, it doesn't matter. That's up to your own particular style. The critical point is that your racket is going through the hitting zone on the correct plane. The angle of the ball is going to be the same as it was for the attack boast. We want the ball to connect with the front wall near the center of the court to allow it to bounce twice before the opposite side wall. The shot is easier to play when it is lower down. So if we hit the shot between, say, thigh level or even knee level and shoulder height, it's fairly comfortable. When the ball starts getting up here, it becomes more difficult. Practice the shot in the most comfortable position for you first before you expand on that attacking area. And here we are with Graham again on his backhand side. And as we've seen before, that left arm scissor action being used for balance and to help provide extra power into the shot. The other components are also the same. Early racket preparation, good strong wrist, head still and nicely balanced. And just like the attacking boast off the floor, that early racket gives him a little bit of deception. Is he going to play a straight volley, across court, or the boast? From this angle here, we can see his racket face targeting in towards the side wall before he pushes out and comes back to the tee. And there's a strong position, strong wrist, racket at the ready, lowering the forearm, and the racket face open towards the target on the side wall. Short punch follow through and pushing out back towards the tee. The forehand volley boast is played with early racket preparation, ball being taken behind the leading foot and a short punch through into that side wall. You can hit this shot also off the right foot, but you must make sure your shoulders have come round before you play the shot, and then push back to the tee position. And we're back with Jonathan practicing with the ball machine. And the first few here, he's hitting off his right foot. And then he's just switching to his left foot. In both instances, he's hitting the ball late in his stance. When he's hitting off the right foot, we can see those shoulders come round to face the side wall as he brings his racket back. Racket back nice and early. Strong wrist position. Head very still and well balanced. And we can see his left arm out there helping him maintain this balance through the whole shot. And there we have a classic position. It could be a straight volley across court or the boast. And he's hitting the ball on the inside of the ball, angling it in towards the side wall. From this angle here, we see the same coaching points, bringing the shoulders around, and as he pushes back to the tee, that follow through actually helps him get back to the tee nice and efficiently. Terrific concentration on the ball and a good strong wrist through that shot. Look at that preparation. What shot is that going to be? And look at the racket face, slightly open, coming through towards the side wall before he pushes back. Like the attacking boast, the drop shot is played for the most part when our opponent's behind us. On the forehand side, we want to get the position fairly open. I'm going to aim the ball so that it goes front wall, side wall, which helps keep the ball near the front wall. Some players prefer to play the shot so that it hits the front wall, bounces, and then comes up into the side wall. There's no right or wrong in that, that's your own preference. It's important to get low to the ball, and it's also important that the wrist is firm but not too tight. Some players like a bigger backswing. There is no right or wrong on this, but you will see most players today playing with a fairly short backswing with the elbow a little closer to the body. This helps with control as you come through the shot. Holding the shot keeps your opponent on the tee. They don't want to do this. And when you hold the shot in this position here, even though the swing is short, there is sufficient backswing to come in and with a good strong wrist action to change the drop shot into a cross-court drive. And here we are back in the match with Jonathan and Peter Nicol. And Peter's stretching for this volley here, and it catches the side wall. Jonathan sets up his drop opportunity with a terrific length, and again Peter's dig out of the corner catches the side wall, setting Jonathan up in the mid-court attack zone. And there's that drop shot, keeping the pressure on Peter. As we first look at the shot, let's just look where the ball is being angled onto the front and the side walls. There's a front side wall shot. That one's in the nick. And that one's bouncing and coming up into the side wall. As we look at the technical points here, we can see that that elbow is fairly close to the body. The swing is not too big, but the racket is still coming back before the ball bounces. And there's another shot bouncing and going up into the side wall. And as we hold it there, we can see a good wrist position, racket face open, because he's going to impart some cut and slice on the ball to keep it nice and low after the bounce. Not too shabby as it rolls out of the nick. As in the forehand drop, there are two ways to angle the backhand drop. Either taking the shot front wall, side wall, or letting it bounce first and coming up into the side wall. Like the forehand, it's important to get the racket back nice and early and hold the shot as long as we've got time to. Again, this is holding our opponent on the tee. The wrist is in a good position, it's firm but it's not too tight, and as I come down to the ball, the forearm and everything is dropping here, and I'm going to cut the ball into that corner and follow through to the target. If my stance is a little more open, there might be an added slice to this. In other words, I'm coming across the ball. This is fine, it works, it's whatever suits you and your game and whatever position you're in at that particular moment. And we're back in the match with Jonathan and Ahmed Barada. So the rally is set up with good length on this backhand wall. There's Barada at a stretch. And the ball's coming to the mid-court, and there's an open stance position. Left foot out a little bit. Barada makes a great get. In this second example, we've got Jonathan setting it up with a kill here. Barada gets the ball up, and here's a more classic drop shot. Not too big a swing because there's not much time. And the ball bounces up into the side wall, forcing a mistake from his opponent. And here we are with Graham on the backhand drop. And we can see from here that most of his shots are bouncing and then going up into the side wall, making it much more difficult for his opponent to scrape the ball off the wall. And a nice little cut into the corner. This helps keep the ball nice and low after the bounce. Very still position as he plays that shot. And even though the swing is short, from this position here, he could still play a cross-court drive, a straight drive, or a little trickle boast in the front. And there's that open racket as he cuts the ball into the corner. Cutting the ball also allows you to make the drop shot a little quicker than pushing it with a flat racket. The quicker the drop, the greater the deception, and the less time your opponent has to react to it. And from here, we can see that he pushes back to the tee straight after the follow through. Left arm out there for balance. And look at that position. Racket back, strong wrist, lowering the forearm, and the racket face nice and open. A little cut and slice into the corner. In this other example, Jonathan plays a volley drop off the serve. Barada scrapes the ball up, and again, like before, we've got a short, classic position drop shot, and the ball bounces, and once again it's up into the sidewall, forcing yet again another error. The forehand volley drop, like the backhand, is played from the mid-court attack zone. As I come across to hit the ball, it's racket back early, firm grip, and everything here is open. And as I step in, I cut the ball more or less opposite or a little behind the front foot, cutting the ball down into the front right corner. You will see Jonathan and Graham hitting this shot off the left foot some of the time, but for the most part they're using the right foot. Now you can hit this off the right foot, but you must ensure that the shoulders come around as you play the shot. So here, same shoulder position, open stance, and cut that ball down into the corner. And here we are back in Qatar with Peter, Nicol and Jonathan again. Both players here looking for good length to start the rally. Jonathan's got in on the volley there, and Peter's shot here just catches the side wall. But they both get into good length up and down the left-hand side. And Peter's cross-court not quite wide enough, and Jonathan's able to move across on his right foot and play a beautiful volley drop. So let's have a look at this shot in more detail. Short backswing because there's not a lot of time here. A nice little cut on the ball. As he's hitting most of these shots off his right foot, little turn on the shoulders. And the ball is being played opposite or just a little in front of his right foot. If it was his left, he would make contact just behind his leading foot. Racket coming back nice and early, and this shot could be a straight volley, a cross court, or BOAST, but it's a drop. A nice open face racket cutting the ball down into the front right corner. The cut on the volley drop is very important because it takes the pace off the ball. On a drop shot off the floor, often the ball is fairly still. The cut helps keep the ball low. Here it helps keep the ball low and it takes the pace off the ball. Good still head and body position as he comes through, and that's a classic position for Jonathan Power. The volley drop is nearly always played from the mid-court attack zone. Like the drop shot, the racket is going to come back early. There's not always the chance to hold the shot because you're playing the shot much, much quicker than the drop shot at the front. But the racket is back early. It's a short swing, fairly firm but not rigid grip here. And I'm going to cut down on the ball and follow through, open face into the front wall. If the ball is further out to the tee position, I might be hitting with a more open stance, and you'll see that with the guys in the drills and condition games, and the racket might slice a little bit more and come off target towards the center. That might be to do with their particular style. Firm grip, short backswing, cut the ball down into the corner. And we're back in Qatar with Ahmed Barada and Jonathan. So as we look at this rally in slow motion, we can see a couple of backhand volley drops with open stance position. And here's the first one from Barada. Stretching on his left foot there, a beautiful volley drop. Putting Jonathan under pressure, keeping him under pressure with that volley. Getting a bit physical in the middle, but we found good length. And now it's Jonathan's turn to return the pressure. Looking for good length again. And here's Jonathan, left foot, open stance volley drop. The length once again down the backhand wall. And the ball's come out a little fat. Jonathan tries to put the ball away there with a kill, but he does so here with a cross-court flick as Barada's looking for something straight down the left wall. And here we are with Graham again. Just look how tight these volley drops are as he slots them in that front left corner. Beautiful shot. Racket back nice and early. And as we saw in tape number 2, we've got a scissor action here using his left arm to help him with balance. And he's elected